Why do we feel the need to explain ourselves? To prove our worth? To respond to every challenge thrown our way? We live in a world that rewards noise, constant talking, endless opinions, and the race to be heard. But have you ever noticed that the most powerful people in the room are often the quietest, the ones who listen, the ones who observe, the ones who move in silence? Silence is not weakness. It's not passivity. It's control, it's confidence. And when you master the ability to stay silent, not in fear, but in self-assurance, everything begins to shift. The right people notice, the right opportunities align, the right answers come, because when you stop chasing, you start attracting. Stay silent, and everything will come to you naturally. Let's talk about why, in a world that equates presence with volume, silence is often misunderstood. Many assume that if someone is quiet, they lack confidence or have nothing valuable to contribute. But the truth is, silence is not an absence of thought, it is a presence of control. It takes strength to hold back when emotions rise, when egos clash, and when the pressure to respond feels overwhelming. Think about the most respected leaders, the ones who command attention without demanding it. They don't speak just to fill the silence. They speak when it matters. Their words carry weight because they are used with intention. People listen to them not because they are loud, but because they know when to stay quiet and when to make their voice heard. Silence also builds resilience. It teaches discipline, patience, and self-mastery. When you resist the urge to react impulsively, you give yourself the space to process, to strategize, and to choose your next move wisely. Instead of wasting energy on unnecessary conflicts or meaningless conversations, you conserve it for what truly matters. There is also an undeniable power in the unknown. When you don't reveal everything you think or feel, you create a sense of mystery. People become more curious. They respect the confidence of someone who doesn't need constant validation. Silence allows you to observe, to learn, and to maintain control over any situation. It shifts the dynamic, making others lean in rather than push away. Most importantly, silence is a reflection of security. It shows that you are not desperate to be understood or accepted. You are comfortable with yourself, with your thoughts, and with your presence. In a world where noise is constant, those who master silence stand out the most. The loudest person in the room is often mistaken for the most powerful. They dominate conversations, interrupt others, and make sure their opinions are heard. But real influence doesn't come from the volume of your voice. It comes from the depth of your presence. Those who speak the most don't necessarily have the most to say. In fact, the need to constantly talk often stems from insecurity, a deep desire to be noticed, validated, or in control. True wisdom is found in those who listen. They observe before they react. They understand before they respond. They process information rather than rushing to be the first to speak. And when they do speak, people listen because their words are thoughtful, intentional, and meaningful. The power of silence lies in the fact that it makes space for understanding. It allows you to read the room, gauge the emotions of others, and assess the situation before making a move. Think of the most respected figures in history. They weren't the ones who spoke endlessly to prove their intelligence. They were the ones who chose their words carefully, who let their presence do most of the talking. The ability to stay silent, to resist the temptation of filling every moment with words, is a rare and valuable skill. It gives you control over yourself and influence over others. When you stay silent, you create curiosity. You force people to lean in, to wonder what you're thinking, to respect your restraint. You become unpredictable, and that unpredictability is powerful. In contrast, the person who speaks too much reveals everything, making themselves easy to read, easy to manipulate, and easy to ignore. Real strength isn't in being the loudest. It's in knowing when silence speaks louder than words. Energy is the most powerful form of communication. Long before words are spoken, people feel your presence. They sense your confidence, your intentions, and your mindset. This is why silence can be more impactful than words, because energy speaks louder than anything you could ever say. Think about the times you walked into a room and immediately felt the energy shift. No one had to explain it, you just knew. That's the power of unspoken communication. People pick up on your energy before they even process your words. If you are calm, collected, and self assured, that's what you project. If you are desperate for attention or validation, that energy is just as clear. Silence amplifies this effect. When you stay quiet, people don't just hear you, they feel you. They analyze your expressions, your posture, and your presence. They make assumptions based on what you don't say, and often those assumptions work in your favor. A quiet person exudes confidence because they don't feel the need to prove themselves. They let their energy do the talking. This is why silence creates influence. It forces people to engage with you on a deeper level. Instead of drowning in meaningless chatter, you allow your energy to shape interactions. You become a person of few words, but great impact. You don't need to explain your worth. People recognize it in how you carry yourself. In every conversation, in every room you enter, your energy speaks first. Words are secondary. The more you embrace silence, the more control you have over how others perceive you. Instead of trying to convince people of your value, let them feel it. Let your presence do the work, because energy will always say more than words ever could. Stillness is a magnet for the right opportunities. When you stop chasing, forcing, and over-explaining, things start to align naturally. Most people operate in a state of urgency, believing that if they don't push hard enough, they'll miss out. But true success, true connection, and true fulfillment don't come from frantic movement. They come from alignment. When you are still, you become aware. You notice patterns. You recognize timing, and you begin to understand that not everything requires your immediate action. Silence allows space for clarity, and clarity brings the right decisions, the right people, and the right circumstances into your life. Instead of reacting impulsively, you respond intentionally. Instead of reaching for things that aren't meant for you, you attract what is. This is why some of the most successful people operate with a quiet confidence. They don't rush. They don't beg for attention. They trust in their preparation and allow the opportunities to come, and when they do, they are ready. Stillness is not about doing nothing. It's about creating space for the right things to happen. When you stop grasping for control, you gain it. You stop wasting energy on things that don't matter and start focusing on what truly does. The right opportunities will come when you are aligned with who you are and what you want, not when you are desperately chasing after them. Everything in nature follows this principle. The river doesn't force its flow, yet it always reaches its destination. The sun doesn't rush to rise, yet it always appears at the right time. When you embrace stillness, you align with the natural flow of life, and in that space, the best things come. Not by force, but by attraction. Silence creates mystery, and mystery creates intrigue. In a world where people constantly overshare, those who remain quiet stand out. There is an undeniable power in being unpredictable. When people don't know your next move, they pay closer attention. They become curious about you, drawn in by the unknown. Most people reveal too much too soon. They lay out their plans, emotions, and thoughts without realizing that mystery holds value. When you speak less, people are left wondering. They fill in the blanks with their own assumptions. And often, they assume more than you would have ever said. This is how influence is built, not through excessive words, but through controlled silence. Think about the most captivating figures in history. They weren't the ones constantly explaining themselves or seeking validation. They were the ones who let others wonder. They spoke when necessary and allowed their actions to speak louder than words. Their silence made them more interesting, more respected, and more powerful. Mystery also protects you. When people know too much about you, they can predict you. When they predict you, they can manipulate you. But when you remain silent, you remain in control. You dictate what others know and when they know it. This forces people to engage with you on a deeper level rather than making assumptions based on what you give away too easily. The less you reveal, the more people want to know. The more people want to know, the more power you hold. In a world of constant noise, mystery is a rare and valuable trait. It's not about deception, it's about knowing the power of restraint. When you master the art of silence, you don't chase attention. Attention finds you. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone. The constant need for validation, for recognition, for proving your worth is exhausting and unnecessary. True confidence is not about convincing others that you are valuable. It's about knowing your value regardless of who acknowledges it. Most people spend their lives trying to be seen, trying to be understood, trying to justify their actions and choices. But the reality is, no matter how much you explain yourself, people will still see you through their own lens. Their opinions are shaped by their own experiences, biases, and insecurities. You could do everything right and still not be accepted by everyone. So why waste energy trying? Silence is a form of self-respect. When you stop explaining yourself, you communicate that you are secure in who you are. You don't need external validation because you validate yourself. You don't need to argue for your worth because your actions speak for themselves. People who truly understand you won't require constant explanations, and those who demand them are often the ones who will never be satisfied. The strongest individuals are the ones who don't chase approval. They move in silence, focused on their own journey, knowing that the right people will recognize their value without persuasion. They understand that proving yourself is a distraction because the moment you seek validation, you give away your power. Not everyone needs to understand your choices. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts. The more you explain, the more you open yourself up to criticism, doubt, and unnecessary noise. Instead of convincing others, focus on proving things to yourself. At the end of the day, the only person you truly need to impress is the one staring back at you in the mirror. Listening is one of the most underrated but powerful skills you can develop. Most people hear, but very few truly listen. They're too busy thinking about their next response, too eager to make their own point, and too distracted by their own thoughts. But those who master the art of listening gain an unfair advantage because they learn what others miss. When you listen, you gain insight. You pick up on details that others overlook. You understand not just what people say, but what they truly mean. Their tone, their body language, and the words they choose all reveal something deeper. People often tell you everything you need to know, not by speaking louder, but by what they say in between the lines. The best strategists, leaders, and negotiators don't dominate conversations, they master the silence between words. Listening also gives you control. When you talk too much, you reveal your thoughts, your emotions, and your intentions. But when you stay silent, you remain unreadable. Others expose their minds to you while you keep yours guarded. This puts you in a position of strength, allowing you to navigate situations with clarity and precision. The most influential people are those who make others feel heard. When you listen, you build trust. People open up to you, confide in you, and respect you. And when you finally do speak, your words carry more weight because people know you aren't just talking to be heard, you speak with purpose. In a world where everyone is desperate to be noticed, the quiet observer holds the true power. The one who listens the most learns the most, and the one who learns the most wins. Patience is the key to natural alignment. In a world that glorifies speed, fast success, instant results, immediate gratification, very few understand the power of waiting. But everything in life has its timing, and forcing things before they are ready only leads to frustration and setbacks. When you rush, you make decisions out of fear, desperation, or anxiety. You settle for opportunities that aren't right for you. You chase relationships that don't align with your values. You force outcomes that aren't meant to happen yet. And in doing so, you create resistance instead of flow. But when you embrace patience, you allow life to unfold as it should. Look at nature. Nothing happens overnight. The strongest trees take years to grow. The most powerful rivers carve their path slowly. Seasons change when they are meant to, not when they are forced. The same principle applies to your life. The more you trust the process, the more things fall into place naturally. Patience doesn't mean doing nothing, it means preparing while you wait. It means refining your skills, strengthening your mindset, and becoming the person who is ready for the things you desire. It means knowing that just because something isn't happening now doesn't mean it won't happen at all. The right opportunities come when you are ready to receive them, not when you demand them. When you stop chasing and start trusting, life begins to work in your favor. The relationships that are meant for you will stay. The success that belongs to you will arrive. The clarity you seek will reveal itself. But only if you resist the urge to force things and instead align yourself with patience, discipline, and faith in the timing of your journey. Your presence carries more weight than your words. People may forget what you say, but they will never forget how they felt in your presence. Your energy, your composure, and your ability to remain centered in any situation speak louder than any speech you could ever give. In a world where everyone is trying to be seen and heard, the one who remains calm and controlled stands out. When you walk into a room with quiet confidence, you don't need to announce yourself. Your presence does it for you. People respect those who don't beg for attention, but command it naturally through their energy. Silence allows you to own your space. When you are quiet, you observe more. You notice people's reactions, their emotions, and their intentions. You read situations before acting, making your responses more powerful and effective. The less you react impulsively, the more control you have over how people perceive you. Consider the leaders and figures who inspire the most respect. They are not the ones who speak without thinking. They are the ones who pause before they respond. They choose their words carefully. They allow silence to create weight in their conversations. This makes everything they say more impactful. Your energy tells people how to treat you. If you are scattered, desperate, or seeking approval, that's how people will perceive you. But if you are still, composed, and selective with your words, people will see you as someone of depth and value. The strongest individuals don't need to prove themselves with words. Their presence alone is enough. Not everything requires a reaction. One of the most powerful things you can do is remain silent in the face of negativity, provocation, or unnecessary drama. The moment you react, you give away your power. You let others dictate your emotions, your focus, and your energy. But when you choose to stay silent, you stay in control. Most people are quick to respond. They defend themselves against criticism, argue over small matters, and waste energy proving points that don't need to be proven. But what if you simply didn't engage? What if instead of explaining yourself to people who don't matter, you focused on what does? Silence is a filter. It separates what deserves your attention from what doesn't. When you refuse to react, you become untouchable. People expect you to engage, to defend, to fight back. When you don't, they lose control. Their words lose power. Their actions become meaningless. Silence forces others to deal with their own emotions instead of projecting them onto you. It creates distance, and in that distance, you gain clarity. Strong individuals understand that not every battle is worth fighting. They know that silence is sometimes the loudest response. It speaks of confidence, wisdom, and emotional intelligence. It shows that you don't need validation or approval. You are secure enough in yourself to let things pass without disrupting your peace. The less you react, the more control you have over your life. You choose where your energy goes. You decide what deserves a response, and more often than not, silence is the response that speaks the loudest. Silence is not emptiness. It is power. It is the foundation of strength, wisdom, and control. In a world that rewards noise, those who master stillness stand out. They are the ones who command respect without demanding it, who attract opportunities without chasing them, and who influence others without needing to explain themselves. When you embrace silence, you shift your energy. You stop reacting to things that don't serve you. You stop seeking validation from those who don't matter. You move with patience, confidence, and purpose. You understand that everything you need will come, not by force, but by alignment. True power is found in restraint. It is found in the ability to listen more than you speak, to observe more than you react, and to let your presence do the work. The less you explain, the more people wonder. The less you chase, the more you attract. The less you force, the more things flow. Everything you desire, success, respect, fulfillment, comes when you stop wasting energy on the unnecessary. Stay silent, stay focused, stay in control, and watch as everything you've been searching for starts finding its way to you naturally